Welcome back to the channel. In our previous lectures, we have seen what is HTML, we have seen the HTML syntax, we have seen how the web works, and we have written even a sample small code. So you have already written your first HTML page, and you have seen the HTML syntax and even how the internet works. So in this lecture, we have elements. So let's recap of what we covered from the last lecture. So from the last lecture, we saw that HTML is a hypertext markup language. And we know it is one of the three core technologies that make up the front-end web development. Where others, we have the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it is one of them. So we also saw that HTML is a markup language that web developers use to structure and describe the content of a web page. And we also said that it is not a programming language, it is a markup language. It helps the developers to develop the skeleton or the structure or the markup of a web page. It consists of elements that describe different types of content. Content like paragraphs, links, headings, images, videos, forms, and many other elements, as we are going to see throughout this course. Web browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and many others, they understand HTML code and they render this code as websites. So with that, you already know what is HTML. That's what basically an HTML document or what HTML is. Now, let's understand what is an HTML element. So previously, we wrote some code where we wrote the paragraph element and we also wrote the button element. So we said an element looks like this, and the element consists of three parts. The first part is the opening tag. The opening tag usually is the name of the element. As you can see here in this example, P is the paragraph and is the name of the element. So it consists of the less than, the P, and the greater than. Then we have the middle part, which is the content. Content over an element, in this example, text that is saying HTML is a markup language. It can be any other element. It can be another element like a div or any other element. And in this case, we call it a child element. But sometimes the element has no content, like in the case of images and other elements, as you are going to see. Then the last part is the closing tag. Same as the opening tag, but with a slash. When an element has no content, it is omitted. So this part of the element, when there is no content, like in case of the image, the closing tag is omitted. So with that, you know what is an element, and this is the breakdown of the element. So let's see the structure of an HTML document. So an HTML document basically consists of two parts: the head and the body. The head, this part of the HTML document, contains the information about the HTML document. For example, the title of the page, the version of the HTML, metadata, links, and so many others, as we are going to see throughout this course. This part of the HTML document is not visible on the page. You will not see this part, but it helps the browsers to give the information about the HTML document. Then the main part is the body. The body contains everything you want to display on the web page. All the elements that you are going to see, the images, the content, the headings, everything you want to see on the web page is rendered or is put in this part of the HTML document. So the HTML document looks like this. It consists of the head and the body as we saw from above. But when you look at it clearly, is consisting of some two more elements, and that is the doc type and the HTML element. So let's break down and see what these two elements do, or is how are they useful to this HTML document. The doc type element is a declaration that tells the web browser which version of the HTML the page is written in. This tells that the version of HTML currently right now is HTML5 by looking at this extension that is on the doc type. So when you look at it, is having less than that symbol, doc type, and the HTML. So that HTML that is written there means that the document is written in HTML5. So in early days of web development, we used to have other versions of HTML like XML, and we also used to have HTML version 1. But right now we are in HTML version 5. Then when you look at the next tag is the HTML tag. Now the HTML element tells the browser that the page will be formatted in HTML language. There are other templating language that we use to write the content of a web page, like Markdown and Pug, Mustache, and very many other templating languages. But in this case, we try to specify that this specific document is written in HTML language. And the HTML tag is the parent tag of the head tag and the body tag, as you can see from the picture. So with this, at this point, you know what is HTML, you know the structure of the HTML, and you are ready to dive into coding. So let's go.